She put out a bit of a tweet which certainly hinted at perhaps comms being something that has to be resurfaced. Is there anything you kind of want to touch on in regards to that?
I mean, the tweet was simply saying what? Just are comms not good, or what did the tweet actually say?
I'm going to bring up the tweet real quick. So let's do it live. Why not?
But comms on Mirage is very important as well, especially if you are the mid player. Having your teammates know that they can push towards connector, that they can push up, be short, you have to keep your teammates on the ball. But we'll go into the tweet in just a second, because right now we have the pistol around Imi and Jess. Once again, only 3 players with armor. Going to be very hard on that retake if it does come down to that. Jesp as well playing retake towards A. From the CT position, having smoke from the defuse. But anyway, enough of that. B, take, here it comes. Ezio towards Van. Let's see what we can do.
Ezio just going to be looking to pretty much deny this pile driving attacks coming in from FM, but one is not quite going to be enough. Stanley more than happy to return, but Imi, the thorn in the side, finds one of his own. A quick headshot on towards Jenko. Lazar still standing towards that pillar, and Imi, he's just doing so much, ever so close, ever so contested, but it's all going in one direction. Neil trying to respond, but he's in a 1v3. Jess, 13 in itself, a low amount, but one that is not so easy to pass when it comes down to numbers. And that is brought into the mix as he's got to be feeling for him at this point. Long-range fights with a Glock. Oh, not quite the weapon of choice you really want to be stuck with.
No HP as well. No armor, sorry. Has no armor, only 50 HP. So, very hard for him to get these headshots in and battle these armored, much more HP players. But 16 HP now. They're just closing in on him, aren't they? It's like, I don't know what to compare it to, but that's a nice headshot there onto Imi. Jesp is low HP. One bullet from the Glock will find him. Actually, if he plays his cards right, we could be seeing the bomb go down as well, or maybe even a quick escape towards A.
His options certainly open. You talked about that A push. That's actually something that could take place, because look at him, he dodged straight through.
Oh,
now he has to decide, okay, do I go through CT? He's going to go for that long spot, and from there, Jess may well be holding it. But as long as he can get that quick cross, and just wishes one shot, that's all it needs to be.
He whiffs it.
That's a bomb plant. That's a clutch right there. That is something that could legitimately be clutch. And all I have to say, it's not like this. But thankfully, Jess, he doesn't miss a second. He will get that headshot.
You see what happens at that point. He gets the bomb down. He's like, well, I've done my job. I'm 16 HP. Not really too much of a chance of me doing this. Peeks out, dies. But it's all about the bomb plant. This means that FM could fully kill this one. Going into the next round as well, they will have the AKs. Once Endpoint potentially go to 2-0. But to touch on the point you mentioned earlier,
I do have to interject here, because you talked about something. You talked about investment for FM being limited. This doesn't really look like that Felico you talked about.
It's rare you do see this force spike come through, but it's usually done to try and catch the other team off guard. Obviously, winning this would reset Endpoint. And having the bomb down, they do get 2.2k, and that means Tech9 and armor.
It's huge if they win it.
Yeah, but if they lose it, that's when it really gets bad.
Yeah, so very much an awkward standpoint for them. They need to make it work now. Let's hope it pays off for them. Lazar, interesting to hold mid with the UMP. His goal there really isn't mid, it's more towards underpass, but nonetheless it's going to be hovering around window. Because FM, they are going to be putting a lot of pressure. It's going to be a 3-man squeeze backed up by a 2-man set over towards ramp, as Connector seemingly going to be a very obvious target. Tech9 and Connector now, that's a beast I wouldn't really want to be facing up close and personal. As Stanley dives on through, looking for the headshot straight on towards Lazar. Mighty Max going to find one of his own. But it isn't quite going to be enough as Jets constantly trade things backwards and forwards. This is a bloodbath, and it ends in only one way. FM with a man advantage. 2v1. All players holding UMPs.
Bomb is being down. He's being put down. Pulse and Stanley now, both with the SMGs. Actually, 3 UMPs to play in this round. No cares well onto Ezio. The molly doesn't quite hit him what he wants there. No one is playing towards jungle. They're playing double CT, crossfire as well. It's been such a hard round for him to win here, pushing, trying to pre-fire the ankles, but the seconds that tick past really do take away the chance. He wins this race, they're both down!
Ezio, how do you get away with that? That spray transfer with the UMP, so accurate. I want to know how many shots of that spray actually hit, because it felt like every single one of them was exactly where it needed to be. Ezio doing it for the team. Endpoint, they get themselves to 2-0. That is painful.
There's a DM server, right? And what it does is every 5 minutes it swaps out between guns. Starts with pistols, then it goes to SMGs, then it goes to rifles, then it goes to orbs and whatnot, right?
Is this why you tell me this is Ezio's best friend?
I'm not lying when I tell you this, that he actually does practice quite frequently that SMG, that UMP.
It shows. I'll give you that.
For sure. Definitely paying off for him in that 1 versus 2. But 5 alive on both sides with the force by again coming from the FM side. Max and Jets find frags themselves, but it's 3 AKs last alive. The Tech-9s and pistols gone out of the equation instantly. That nade there as well might do big damage. It does, so now Imi just doesn't have to reface. He's done enough, but actually Stanley there catches the top of Max's head. But Luzza wins the duel there in mid, and now Stanley and Nilzenia, the 2 versus 4. Low HP onto Luzza though. So they could try and exploit this through connector.
The trades for Endpoint yet again being a fruitful factor for them on their CT side. But look at Neil, he's got himself over towards window, and if he peeks in towards CT at the perfect moment, this could be absolutely beautiful as he takes the fight. Well and truly going to be spotted out by Imi now, so the jig is going to be up. But nonetheless, FM, they still are on the A side for just the cross. It's not going to be contested in any way, shape or form. We're looking at a very passive CT side now. We'll talk about CT as a position in itself. They're not even in CT, they're in spawn.
Yep, I mean, the idea is don't even give them a chance. Play for the retake. It's okay if they get the bomb down. It's not about that, it's about the round win at this point. They do not want to throw away this round, especially when Luz is low HP.
I think this fits rather nicely with the message that Imi really put across in terms of him as a player, and also what he put out just before the match, which is that they are just going to focus on doing their job, finding the win, coming a lot better, and from there, making every single round count. And this is a good display of that, because a lot of teams, they would be trying to deny the plant, they would be playing for every small little thing. But what you can see, as you've very nicely elaborated on, is that Endpoint, they're just playing for one thing, and that is the round, and they know that's important, they know that's what counts. Now all they have to do is actually close it out and not allow the clutch.
If he goes to Palace as well, it's going to be very good for them. So Stanley finds the first, but they know exactly where he is. No Molotov though, so he's going to peek out, going for the frag. Yes, he does anymore. He runs out of bullets, and now crouching down behind the firebox. He's still alive. Low HP, but now it's all down to Nilzenia. What it was until Ezio showed up.
Ezio, yet again, being the man to unveil himself. That's a saving figurine almost for the team, but that was close. That has to be said. For a team who are just going to, okay, yeah, we're just going to slide on in and take it out of you once you get that bomb down, make sure that we do secure the round.
Yep.
That was a lot closer than what some say it should have been. That free face towards CT,
sure.
That's risk, and there's no reward in that.
I mean, standing there, great round from him. Bomb does go down, kills on the board, but they did force that again. So we are looking at Endpoint hopefully taking 4-0 unless something crazy happens with these Tech-9s. We've really seen it happen before towards the A-bomb site, but with the trade coming out, Mighty Max does die. Pulse for the refrag, and now Jess spraying on towards the site. Can he get the frags? He's finds it soon because he's whiffing all the shots. Whiffs again, and Pulse finds the frag. Last with the ult, but does find Robin. And now Pulse jumping on top of the 3 boxes there. Imi.
Really got to hit those. That's not the shots you want to be missing, but nonetheless, the pistol flails away. There's going to be a quick reversal. And Endpoint, they get themselves 4-0, and FM give them an opportunity to decide, you know what, it's time for us to fight yet again as they bring up these rifles. And it should be 4 and an AWP if they so choose, or they actually decided for 5 flat AK-47s.
So, it is 4-0 currently, but the amount of pressure that FM have put onto Endpoint is brutal. You can see their money isn't too strong. Losing this, they may be on the harsh reset. Probably going to force into it though, because they would have a few guns here or there, but FM applying so much pressure to the CT side of Endpoint, and it shows in the economy. Smoke goes in towards jungle, flashes for the ramp, and now here comes the Palace push. Jess caught off guard, but it's been Mighty Max to come in as the cavalry. Jess trying to find frags, we can't get any. Janko gets that kill, and now watching towards that bench position. Supposed to play pushing, but Max does fall back.
Almost a bit of an overreach coming in terms of that hold of Palace, and alone has yet again been a punishing factor for a CT side trying to bring things back in a very contesting fashion. Is Amy going to find one of his own with the UMP, a headshot at that, but is it going to be enough? A Molotov needs to find its way down over towards ramp, perhaps even Tetris just to force them away. There's a smoke going to be what Ezio decides to become one with, just looking to pretty much sit tight at this point, not even going for the push. A flash eventually going to go off and gets himself up across that bench, but they're not gaining anything. There's a smoke going to go down on towards the bomb. They are playing like a team, but someone needs to get on that aforementioned bomb with a huge spray down coming on in. Robin, a 3K for him.
That's it. He's done it.
There's all but no time. They played like a team. So they're playing like a team in that scenario. It took them too damn long.
Robin there batting down 3 men.
Why not?
Why not?
The third was probably the most important one of them all, though, because if he didn't find that third frag, we were seeing a bomb defused. So him to find that third...
I mean, I wish we saw it from his point of view, but that spray was unbelievable. 3 frags to him, 1 through the smoke as well. That spray control must have been unbelievable. But 4-1, and you can see the money as well on Endpoint. SMGs, FAMASs, but strong utility nevertheless. But if they lose this, they shall be reset and on low money, and this is where FM can claw back, they come back and try and make it 4-4 from that position, but execute towards B.
It's also got to be said, if Endpoint just smooth over FM in this round, we're looking at a very broken T-side, so certainly two ways this can swing. Ezio in a position to do absolutely God's work almost over on the B side, finds himself the first, looking now for the second, taps on through the smoke, a flash is going to go off, but it's fallen short of the van. He's getting away with it, he is going to be punished, a snapping headshot coming in from Robin, but has he bought enough time for the rest of his team to come on through for the rotates? Well, some say yes. I say it's almost pinpoint perfect because Snods, we've overlooked something. Look at that bomb.
Wow. How on earth?
I just want to know what went wrong with the location of that bomb because we didn't even clock onto it. How did it get into mid and why is it in mid?
And how was Max with that? Robin's only 2 HP, but enough of that. 45 seconds in the palm down, bottom of connector. Imi and Jesp try and take this 2 versus 2.
Can certainly hope that an attempted connector push in the failing can be turned back on its head by a T-side looking to rekindle the flame that they previously lost as Imi going to be there to play the elevated angle and one that will bear a reward in terms of HP because look at how low they are. Neil is going to get punished by Imi. Robin next in line, right by the frag grenade. And that right there, that is a brutal reset. The economy of FM, 1,750, 2,050. Not a pretty number by a long shot. And you look at the scoreline now, 5-1. This is quickly going to be accelerated for Endpoint.
It is indeed the force bite coming through, and now FM, maybe they're going to think in their heads, you know what, if we had the bomb there, we would have won that round. Let's try and do it. Let's try and repeat it again. So, all 5 of the team players this time, and the bomb, most importantly, coming here towards the B bomb site. 3 players close towards A. Max in connector. Here it comes.
Flash is going to go off, and honestly, you shouldn't be expecting to see too much. The Tech 9s, they can try and get close and personal and get value out of that, but at the same time, his SMG should just be able to mop things up, keeping clean, try and deny a plant, which is going to take place. Imi will pay a steep price as 2 frags to be claimed for the bomb plant. That's the ideal factor for a T-side, and it is denied. So as much as a very weird round yet again, bomb wasn't found, that is going to be costly for FM in terms of their economy because look at it, it's 2,350, 1,750 yet again. Deja vu.
And now it is the full eco coming up from the FM side. This is their map pick as well. And it's the T side.
Map pick reversals is pretty much what we've seen. Throwing predictions out of the window because you know what, who needs those?
At the end of the day, Counter-Strike is very different.
This is very different. P250s at least pretty much across the board aside from one solitary Glock in the hands of Neil. And
bomb in T-spawn?
Yeah, don't need the bomb on our backs. Of course, boys, when we're on a pistol round, who needs to plant the bomb? I've got to say, as much as I don't want to be too picky on certain things, I would like to see them actually try and get a bomb plant in these rounds. I think that's a fair shout.
Yeah, but from what we've been seeing so far into this round, 5-2 in terms of players alive, not the scoreboard, is 6-1 actually.
Close enough.
And most likely going to be 7-1 at that point if FM lose this next buy round. That could be it. That could be the point at which Endpoint roll on with it, go to double digits on their CT side. And actually, Robin giving it a little bit.
Yeah, Robin trying to get inside his opposition's head.
Not with bullets, but instead words.
Mental game.
Mental game.
Jesper Max will combine the eventual mop to clean things up, a mess that they're more than happy to slide on through. 7-1, of course, is the score, and as mentioned, Imi with 140 ADR and a 75% headshot ratio.
He's on the ball. He's definitely stepped up, but he is definitely leading with example as the captain of this Endpoint side. 7-1 is the scoreline, and if FM lose this, well, it's looking like we could be going to that 5th and final map here. Molly comes in, Nilzini is flushed back off the angle, and that will stump his B presence just a little bit, trying to get a bit of map control, try and keep the players. My goodness, Jess finds that frag in through mid, and now Imi peeking up, does win that duel as well!
How does he win that? Gets the headshot towards Robin,
finds the kill onto Pulse.
Another.
This is unreal.
All we need at this point is a soundboard to be screaming and another one, because that's all this is. Endpoint collecting the frags, collecting the deaths. FM struggling to pay. Jenko and Neil, the last two remaining, they have got 2 rifles. Yeah, I'll give them that. They've got a flash in the pocket of Neil, but they haven't got any hope. That's one thing in itself.
No hope, really? It's a bit harsh.
How can you look at this situation and say they have much of an opportunity to really keep on contest? They've got flashes popping off. Jenko's literally staring at the light.
Yeah, and the light is usually symbolized as hope. But then again, Neil Zenu now last alive. I mean, he is the man you want in a clutch situation for FM, but I think this is too much of a task.
You're a betting man. I mean, I'm glad you finished it off with the end of that, because I was going to kind of almost throw you under the bus with the betting odds right there, because odds for a 1v5, yeah, 25 seconds, no brutality intended to FM, that's a given, but you have to be a realist in these scenarios.
Yes, indeed. 15 seconds on the clock as well. FM. It's like one map, their T-sides are abysmal. The next, they're playing as a unit, the headshots are rolling, everything's going right. It feels like FM is a team where, in terms of strategy, Endpoint definitely had it, right? The depth of their pool in terms of strats definitely prevails, because it means that there's so much they can go back to when things start to fail. With FM, they're either leading 9-1 or they're losing 8-1. Apart from Nuke, obviously it was a close game, but still.
Nuke was the difference in result overall, but it doesn't deny the statistics for every other map that we've seen, right? So I think that certainly is a point in itself. Of course, look at this mismatch. This is not a buy. This is, yeah, we're going to kind of claw stuff together. Haven't really put too much investment. They've kept some roughly $2,000 or so across the board, aside
they went
from
on the buy into the next one.
Just Pulse, I believe.
I think it was Neil. Yeah,
I would assume that's Neil with the rifle, yeah.
Thankfully he did work. Because he finds one, can he get a second one? Spraying down, that's quite connected. Doesn't connect the second one as well. Mighty Max finds 2. Polestar did get the reply frag onto Jesp and Janko as well. 2 versus 3 now in favor of FM for once. NC though is going to change that, make it 2 versus 2.
Mistakes being made. Max being caught with a Molotov, but it's handled at all. What you need to be doing is another nade to go on out, looking to land right at the feet of Pulse, and it does just that. 52 HP is going to be the number to be shouting on about as a lottery being claimed by Endpoint, but are they going to make it work? As yet again, another nade being caught out. Pulse a double kill with a Tech 9. Endpoint, please, could you just do us a favor and stop peeking with frag grenades and flash grenades and Molotovs and pretty much any utility?
That's some very, very crisp aim that was. But that's sort of a miracle round. Is a round like that repeatable for FM? That's the thing. And if it's not repeatable, Endpoint, they reset FM, and at that point, we're looking at 10-2.
Now, I don't want to say, you know, history literally reflects upon this moment, but we saw 4, then a round in favor of FM. Then we saw 4, and now a round in favor of FM. What are we seeing now? Lazar and Jesp, they're combining with AWPs. They are being the pillars to knock them down. The utility that Endpoint were caught out with in the round before is enough to make it happen this time around. We do see a return coming in from Pulse. But is that going to be enough, or is history going to repeat itself?
Stanley now getting aggressive towards stairs, peeks into connector. But Max just has to hold passive. He's expecting the push to come from somewhere, because somehow FM, they have to even out the numbers. As long as Endpoint play the retake nice and safe, and play as a team and a unit, and use your utility well, they should win it. But Stanley gets aggressive. Can he find the frag? Can he get 3 versus 3? Yes, he can. Stays alive as well, but Pulse and Stanley both low HP. Flashes again. Will this catch the player off guard? Imi here needs to try and change this.
We're looking towards CT. We need to see something, of course, from Ezio and Lazar. The duo over towards that direction as well. And they will get a 1-for-1 trade, but even then, that's not a pretty circumstance. Smoke looking to find its way down. The defuse almost potentially being stuck by Ezio as he tries to buy some more time for his team. As Neil going to claim the head of Imi, rolling it straight onto the pike. As Ezio left almost bewildered, trying to work out what he can do.
No time.
I'm imagining, but the clock, well, looking to prove you wrong. Stanley with AK-47 taking it one step further.
5 versus 3. Imi tweeted that they're losing to themselves. And right there, losing a 5 versus 3. And the economy as well, the guns, they didn't even flash. 2 ops found themselves such easy frags. In a 5 versus 3, somehow it all crumbles for Endpoint. But then again, they are 8-3 up, so right now they are still well and truly in the lead. Early palace aggression from Jesp. Doesn't really make too much of a difference though. But he does spot out the players, that's information. And now you can already see 3 players close towards A.
Let's hope the Deagles of Endpoint are crisp, as Jesp looking to walk up right to the pretty much crosshair of Stanley, which pretty much 95 times out of 100 we're looking at that rifle winning that duel. Jesp peeks on that, finds himself one tag line looking for a second, but the minute you re-peek, you're opening yourself up to that tag, and from there, the rifle so much easier of a job as Pulse going to find just another.
Oh,
Max though with the CZ, gets himself a double tap. Why not? Looking out for a third. But this is going to be pretty damn tough because as much as it certainly is Flare with a CZ, it's not a weapon that you can really use in terms of longer ranges.
No utility as well on the CT side. They will peek him, still trying to tap away at their heads, but can't quite connect. Like, through the wall, the wood even.
Ezio was just slightly quicker with peeking from CT. The pistols could have had a chance, but at the end of the day, it's nitpicking with
money.
pistols.
It's just team money right now. You've got to look at it as well. 4,000 of these players, and once the drops come in, 450 on Stanley, 700 on Nilzinho, 450 on Jenko. Wow. So, if Endpoint can take this, they will most likely reset FM and get to that 9 score on the board. But enough of that. Early mid-aggression coming out. I mentioned in the preface that using your utility well does grant you a lot of mid-control quite easily. Max here towards the left side of window. Usually uses to catch the T's off guard, but he will be smoked off. Luzza going for the Palace pick as well. Falls back and Pulse, you might be able to catch him off guard here. Luzza crouched, refaces, but Pulse pulls back.
Timing not quite on fleek, but you have to remember, Snons, we're still at a 5v5. It's 1 minute 20 on the clock. This is still anything to happen. The peak coming in from Max, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. And you also have to remember one very pertinent point. FM, they have not decided at all where they want to go. Right down to the point they don't even have the bomb on their backs yet. It's still sitting pretty much in T-spawn for all intents and purposes. So FM have so much room to work with on their T side. So many choices they can make.
Yeah, they do. And the CT defense playing retake towards A. Could be playing, obviously I just mentioned that retake on the A bomb side. I mean, looking at the utility with no Molotovs would be very difficult if the T's opt to go towards A, but look at the minimap. Right now it is the slow contact towards B. Imi finds Jenko, and now it's all down to Ezio.
He's got his work well and truly cut out from. He finds one, he finds two. He's looking for a third, but he's right down to the wire. 10 HP, but it doesn't even matter. He will get cut on down. Pulse is going to dive on through, escaping for his life at this point. But he's looking to make the play as he heads right on towards the tip of short, and from there, well, the iceberg, that's Connector. As he knows that if he can get himself behind his opposition, not only that, get himself in a spot where he can just sit tight, this could be so smart. Zlazza doesn't even check now, that's an AWP. He has the bomb. No. He's taking the fight against Chess. He's holding the angle, and he finds the shot now back towards B. The mind games on this man are so beautiful.
Hyped? Why are we getting hyped? It's 3 seconds.
But it's so good.
Not really, they lost the round, mate.
I mean, we didn't know it was the time, but you know what? It was still good.
AWP saved.
That could have been very, very different, it has to be said. Yeah, as much as we didn't know it's the time at all. That was still a good round from him. Still a smart play.
Yeah, I mean, it took the guns out of Endpoint's side, and you can take a look at... I bet they wish they had Luzza on the AWP there, and also that M4 onto which player died in window? I can't really remember. Was it?
Yeah.
Yes, whatever it was.
You know what? We can justify our excuses to get hyped, but it is Pulse.
Does see the play towards B-apps. The problem is, though, Pulse did shoot his AWP, and that means that the other players can get aggressive towards the other side of the map, knowing that there's no AWP holding their angle. Jess, closer up now. Usually, this is actually an SK setup, right? Cold Zero plays this angle, and you have Fur behind him. He baits for that player that is playing close ramp. You usually see this versus anti-ecos. So maybe Endpoint misreading the economy here from FM's side, but Max hopefully baiting. Yes, that's it. Robin, don't reface the die here. Allow Jesp to get the kills. Is Robin expecting this?
Perhaps. You have to ask, is this something that we've seen them play before? Is this something that can be watched in a demo maybe? As Paul's going to be there to hold the angle with the AWP. Nearly getting caught off guard. Goes for a quick fire shot. Isn't quite going to find it. But Robin, on the other hand, will find it as Jess tries to retreat. But the overrunning effect that is Palace is enough to pretty much shut down any CT-sided hold they had. As Luzza, the man towards stairs, the only man to have an impact now in terms of a CT position. Because he's the only man even on the site. He does get his teammate behind him, Ezio, there to join him. But it's all but too late. The bomb is going to go down. The Molotov there to land.
Yep.
But
safe call.
He has to save.
Smart decision there. One more round left. And, oh, goodness. Can we take a look at the money, please, Observer? Misty, can you show us the money?
Show us the money. We have a tap gear ourselves as well. We can tap it over there. Let's have a look at that.
There we go. Right, so. Oh, goodness. So, they'll get 1.4k. I mean, Luzza can maybe... Yeah, Luzza can drop a FAMAS. That's one. Ezio can drop a UMP. So, it's very, very
Do you
bad.
see positivity here at all? I want your flat-out opinion on this.
it's winnable. A round like that is definitely winnable. Without the AWP, might see some aggression from the CT side. I like a push towards B app. You saw Pulse go there with the AWP. It's probably unlikely he goes towards B twice. So maybe try and get a push towards B app. B apps, get some early information, even push mid.
Well, you talk about pushes. One thing I want to see is mobility with a scout. If you're going to bring it into the table, be mobile, trying to utilize just how fast you can be. So far, it is going to be a bit of a jumping effect coming in, and not too many shots be found.
Right, it's here again. Well, okay. So, smoke comes out, Molly comes out. He's trying to double fake from here. It's all about pulling that rotation from the player that's window, the jungle player.
Pretty much biding time at this point. Is the clock going to tick on down? Jenko, of course, and Co backed up towards Palace, which was a pretty side-blinding effect for Endpoint, but it came down to a very specific CT side setup, right? We talked about that SK setup over towards ramp.
Yep.
This is much different. It's passive. It's relying on this two-prong man setup. Oh, this two-prong setup, should we say, over towards connector, making a bit of a blunder there, but either way. And then, of course, they've got that player in CT, which is a lot more passive, a lot more well held together, which means that when a push comes out from something like Palace on ramp, it's a much harder task for FM just to kind of push on through and hope that, yeah, our aggression is going to single-handedly win us around because they have a scout towards CT. That's a given from Lazar.
Right now.
Has to land the shot, but he finds the one on towards Robin. That's already value gain. Gets free vision on towards Palace, which the information paramount in that scenario. Because then look at the players from Connector. This is where their utility can come into play.
Yeah, Molotov towards stairs. That does mean those Connector players reface towards mid. With Sweet Jenko with the flash towards CT. Flushes off the missiles there and just takes down two of those players. Max as well drops to Jenko and he gets the 4K!
Jenko, one absolute monster. How does he get away with that? Unbelievable stuff coming in from him. 9-6.5 is going to be what we find ourselves closed out upon.
I mean, fair play, that's an incredible round there, but before that round, he was 3 for 13.
Impact.
Well, 3 frags over 15 isn't really, or over 14 should I say, isn't really.
You know what? We like to be positive.
Yeah, so going into this one, 3 players towards B. It's looking like Endpoint of Reddit. Let's see now, Nilzinho playing retake towards A. Lazar out first. Nilzinho needs to find some early frags here, but Pulse will do just that.
Pulse, not only is he going to do just that, finds himself a double, now looking for a triple. Stanley going to steal it away on towards Ezio, but nonetheless, it is frags to be claimed. Pulse looking for even more as Jess finally will respond. As the Glocks find themselves rocking away with a bomb plant over towards that A site, but even then a quick and easy rotate coming on in from the CT. Wow. Stanley finding just another on towards Jess. Zimmy found himself perched upon a 1v4, and perhaps John was right. Reese Mars, Cuban Cigars.
Reese Mars, Cuban Cigars.
Did you not spot that by any chance?
So, what, just now?
John having a great time at the top of the...
I didn't read that, no, I was actually looking at the map. But that play, right, when you have that smoke on towards the site, usually it's between the sites and that blocks off the vision of CT, and you flash jungle and you peek jungle with a flashbang. Instead, no flashes come out, they peek right into Pulse's crosshair. Just domes 3 of them pushing towards jungle, and that does seal the deal and the pistol round in favor of FM. And actually FM won the first one. No, Endpoint won the first pistol, and they had that solid start. But enough of that because Jenko will flash into mid spray. Now one of these players, possible, does find the frag. Onto Max, but Jess finds one, but...
It's another bomb plant though.
Yeah, it's money, cash at the end of the day.
Which is, it's cash, it's value, and there's nothing you're going to complain about, especially
it's Mirage, mate.
When you've got a player like Jess finding a headshot like...
I'm sure he'll take it. To the grave, as he is dead. Does it now, dinks up one player, and falls. So, bomb does go down. Is that 2 bomb plants? No. Yeah, it is 2 bomb plants. So I keep doubting myself.
You've got to trust your gut, man. You just got to get into it.
I need confidence, don't I? Right.
It's all about the confidence.
They have got the bomb down in both of these rounds, and that means we could potentially be seeing an AWP onto Jenko. Yes, we could, but that's a risky buy without the Jenko. What about onto Lazar? But that's a risky buy. He's thinking about it. AK armor. Oh, AK armor is 5 rifles. Usually, when you see 5 rifles, fast play. Maybe smokes towards A. Maybe a contact B play. Smoke off balcony. Flash the van. And then flash over the top and try and jump out the window and try and get the early frags onto B. And maybe even go for a mid-split.
Jenko looking like he's going to be holding just short of window, rather ironically speaking, making sure no presence is going to be quickly and easily gained by the T side if they opt to go very, very aggressive, and also a bit of underpass control as well being claimed by Imi. So overall, a nice counterplay to a default brought to the table by Endpoint. But what is the end goal here? That's kind of what I'm looking towards, as a flash is going to be thrown into the mist. Smoke to go down towards the tips and connector, but looks like the B site is going to be the target. Neil going to be there ready and waiting. Was just lying for the push to roll on in, but he's got his work cut out for him as a single man, as a B side anchor. It's tough.
I mentioned that boost onto the boxes there. Max is on it right now, trying to face towards BX, but there's no one there. It's Nelzinho towards the back of the site, towards bench, finds one, re-peaks, but gets instantly headshot there by Lazar, and pulls out the HE grenade and actually will win the spray battle there. 2 versus 3 now, Pulse and Stanley to try and take this. Lazar trying to turn away from the flash. Stanley walks in with his own teammate's flash, takes one, can he get any more? Jesp does seal that deal, and Pulse in the 1 versus 2. Kit and Molly, but no flash.
No flash could be probably one of the most important pieces of utility that he is looking for at this point if he gets a face against Jesp, but one that only ends in his own face being annihilated as Jesp just pumps a whole little lead right on into it. Leading us to the scoreline we find ourselves perched upon now, which is 10-8.
Yep, going into the buys as well.
Much closer, there's got to be said though. Much more back and forth.
I mean, we saw initially, what,
like
8-1? Was it 7-1? 8-1, I think it was 8-1 in favour of Endpoint.
Yep.
And FM managing to claw it back slowly with the pistol round and the following couple rounds towards the end of the first half, but pistol force spike coming up here. Nelzinho trying to get aggressive towards the apps there, trying to get some information early on for his team. This is a smart play. If you can find the frag onto Ezio, it's going to be so important. Sprays it down with Sip as Ezio does win that duel, and that means the CTs know what's up. Stanley finds one, pulls out a nade, and actually does get traded there by Ezio. Max finds the kill.
How many times
mid, I believe?
have we made a comment about pulling out a nade in the past? I know. What is this? Can we stop pulling out nades mid gunfight, boys? Can we just focus down for a second? Just relax. No need to tap those nade binds. Zhenko stuck in a pretty impossible predicament over towards Venture. He would need to bob and weave into a bit of a goddamn miracle if he wants to stay alive, and unfortunately, it's not quite doable.
11-8. We saw, was it Endpoint on Nuke? Yeah, Endpoint on Nuke were in this exact same situation, except they were the ones behind, and eventually it went to double OT, but they did end up losing that first map. So, can we see FM pull a similar comeback? Or will Endpoint keep pulling ahead in the lead? Felt Molotov towards window. Let's see if that actually does make a difference. Stanley peeks out, takes down Lazar. 1 man advantage, but Zhenko is so low.
So low. Such an unfortunate statement to be making. And one that's pretty damn haunting when you're a CT side. But at the same time, it is just pistols. You kind of have to look at this one and go, it's pretty much 12-8, and from there, FM just have to hope that their buys will be on point, as Robin gets a free peek on towards Jess. I'm not even going to try and read into what just happened. He gets a pick. The value gets somewhat neglected. Nonetheless, it's 2 overall. It's not that bad. That's certainly damage to be inflicted. I wonder if that has a long-term effect.
It's a stack towards B. And Endpoint, they're walking right into it. Stanley sprays and takes down Ezio with the P250. And it's low HP on both of these players. Stanley as well towards Van. Can he find any more? Gets the final frag. And they're going to win the eco. 11-9.
This is one of those moments when you sit here and you do just go, not like this. This is not the way for Endpoint's momentum to be shut down, because look at their economy. They're on pretty much the last legs, going to have to put everything they've got going into this. And you know, you look at Max, a player that is known in the past for being hugely incremental when it comes down to wins for teams. Just on the deagle.
Very, very crisp aim. Onto Max, but with a deagle, that's what you want.
I mean, if you can land those crisp 1Ds, sure, by all means, crisp seems to be the word of the cast. Well, this map, should we say, but it's a whole lot of hope and a whole lot of pressure on the shoulders of Max, as some say he plays with his feet up. Stanley.
Loves it, love it, don't you? Trying to get those FM memes in. But talking about FM, he's 9-11 in favour of Endpoint. There are 2 rounds ahead. 1 minute 10 on the clock, 5 players alive on both sides. It's going to be the slow B contact play. I say contact, they flash in.
It's not really them waiting, it's them just kind of always saying, hey, we're here, just so you know, here's a fair advantage, but now we're going to push. Ezio looking to really make the best of this situation, but then a Molotov is there greeting. Stanley finding the first Neil, giving them just another spray down to be thrown on in, and this is just free picks.
Oh my
Look
God,
at Neil, dives on
roses.
through the smoke, still left standing. They all by all means know he's there, and eventually they will end him as a quick 3 frags to be claimed by the side of Endpoint. But what on earth was that we just witnessed? Just a bit of a dance through the smoke. There's Robin looking to come straight back in through market, just keeping up the contest. But Imi seems to know exactly where he is because the perfect peek and the perfect pre-fire all end in one direction.
Looks like it's caught off guard there. Pulse finds that frag, and now in the 2 versus 1, Imi does kill Robin. And now Pulse knows where both. He knows where the last player is. Imi's low as well. Taps the bomb. He's brained him. He's brained him. He's done it. He's won it. He's clutched it.
What a play.
That's a tilter. That one is a tilter.
That's something that sits in the back of your mind for not just a map. That's something that you will remember. An impeccable play to make, it has to be said, but wow. You have to look at the impact of that as well, right?
So why did he go for the stick? He knows Imi's low HP, and when you're low HP, in that situation, you don't want to jiggle peek and get, die from one bullet. So instead, he anticipates the fake from Pulse. That's the obvious thing. But Pulse, reading into it, eventually wins it there. But anyway, Robin now towards default finds a nice headshot there, and another one, and a third one. Can he get any more? Oh, Jenko says that one. Jenko gets the final one as well. But we are 11-11 tied up right now. It's looking like the Endpoint catch up, the Endpoint that we saw on Nuke when they caught up from behind. And right now, making it neck and neck.
Certainly, it's a short.
Ah, I just saw it there. I was so confused at why you're laughing, why production's laughing in my ear.
I can just hear production like laughing in my ear. They definitely know what's going on.
Fake. You can see that on the scoreboard.
Coming out with the original memes. The old 2011 variant, it seems that Max is going to be taking the battle straight over towards mid. Got like a little on his back. Looking to really make the best of things, of course, as Endpoint, they do want to shut down FM, it has to be said. Once you allow a team like FM to get going, you're pretty much riling up the Kraken when it comes down to these players. You see Stanley start hitting shots, I don't really think the receiving end of that. I'm sure these guys don't either.
It's going to be so difficult as well. Endpoint are under so much pressure because the ball's in their court. They're on the T side. They're the ones making the plays. Talking about plays, Pulse in connector right now. Flashes in, the Molotov comes in. And they have control of connector still, and that's so important because you can see this player in Palace is useless. GSP needs to wait for connector to be taken control of from his team. But instead, it's Pulse close to smoke sprays. Does he expect it to go through? Finds one, finds the second, getting the third. USP out. Max does take it though.
The fact that he even gets to is absolutely huge. Stanley got to find another onto us. Loves it, Max. He may take it, but he's the last man standing. He is the man on the floor, weeping up the tears of sorrow. Because FM, they're on 12. Endpoint still stuck on 11, and here is the pause. And about time. Imi, gonna take a pause. A tactical one at that to confirm. Endpoint, they have a hole to climb out of, it has to be said.
I told you, or I said just now, the pressure is on for Endpoint. The ball is in their court. When you're on the T side, there's just so much pressure they put onto. You got to think as well, FM playing connector. They held onto connector, and it was so important. Pulse and his team using the flashes, the mollies, the smokes. The longer they hold connector, the less valuable Jesp is towards Palace, because as soon as they're out connector, Jesp can wide face from Palace and peek onto the default behind the boxes, because one player on A, right? Say that Pulse dies, they have control of connector. If he's default or triple boxes, he has to watch connector, ramp, and Palace. So the idea is, take control of connector, push out that way, push towards stairs, have GS try and backstab that player that is the alone player, an isolated player on the CT side, on the A-bomb side, but instead, Pulse and his teammates hold on to connector. They take the round just through map control.
I think the best thing about that map control as well was, if anyone's out there kind of sitting and going, okay, people always talk about map control, and they always talk about the difference between aggressive map control, where you're actually there taking it, and also passive map control. The beautiful thing about that was just the sheer recognition from the CT side in terms of realizing, okay, now is the time to go aggressive, and now is the time to go passive, even though they 100% knew the entire time, they still held it. And that's really highlighting, that's raw skill right there, it has to be said.
Skill and a brain, that's definitely what you need.
Come hand in hand together.
Complete players, definitely is what you want, is complete players. Skill, brain, and initiative as well to think in those moments. But Jenko makes the Kenny's jump and finds the first onto Imi. And this complete battle that he finds the second as well.
Can he even get the third? He's going to get taken away from him by Pulse, but still, the impact yet again being claimed. Neil, next in line. It is just pistols, bear in mind, so, you know, hey-ho, it's going to happen either way, but again, it goes back to that previous point. Why just get simple frags when you can do it in style?
Right, so when I play mid and I AWP mid on Mirage, if I know the other AWPer can make that jump, it does play into your mind, especially if they've seen it as well. If you're Lazza and you're going to face towards mid, you've got to be, or any of those T players facing towards mid, if you know Jenko can make that jump, that does actually impact how you do take control of mid early on, as you do not want to die early. But Robin going for the underpass pick, Let's see what we can do here. Does find the first one to Imi. And Max boosting up Blaza. But Jenko, he's not going to give away the frag, and Stanley will though. 4 versus 4, but it's all a bait to try and get Neilzenia to find the frag with the AWP, but they're slowly coming together now, and he spots him. Does he get the frag? No, he doesn't. They shimmy left and right out of his crosshair, but Max finds Robin at the bottom of mid, and now they are slowly drifting towards the A-bomb site.
This is almost perfect, and I always have the curious prospect of, did Endpoint actually realize there was an AWP in play? Because surely on that shoulder peak you can see that scope.
Yeah, I imagine he did. That's probably why they're going back towards this A-bomb site. They have the man advantage as well. Just play the trade game and you win it. Polster, this is such a good position here. Can he catch the players? Will it be timed? Ezio now peeking in. Flash has failed, but Ezio does not fail. Does find that crisp headshot there. Jenko, the AWP, finds another frag for himself here. Can he get any more? The Jesp peeking through. No smoke towards jungle means that Neilzenia holding jungle. The AWP finds one onto Jesp. Doesn't quite connect the quickscope though. Max finds the trade. Jenko in the 1 versus 2. Can he find the frag here?
Oh, right on his head, almost straight through the box. Now going for the white space, lands it on towards Max, looking now for the second, straight on towards Laza, whipping out the CZ, jumping around, and he gets the headshot. Jenko, are you kidding me? How does he get away with that? A triple kill for him, and he gets the defuse. He keeps up the fight for FM. They're on 14 rounds at this point. How are they getting away with this? 14-11, right on the cusp of closing this out. This is ridiculous.
Are you kidding me? Is what production decided to put there. Fair play.
When the productions meme you, it feels good.
Who's Anders and who's Semler in this duo?
You know what? I don't mind either. I'll take it to compliment either way, right? Gotta love John. Either way. It's gotta be said, FM, yeah, right on the edge. Closing this out.
They are indeed 14-11. No AWP on Laza. We haven't really been seeing too much from him though in this potential final map. With the rifle though, that change of pace, that change of style could be what he needs. Sometimes when you're not AWPing, you have the rifle, you think about what you do a lot more. Because it's like when you drive a car, right? When you drive a car, you don't think, you just do. Same goes when you AWP every single round. You always go towards mid, you always do the same angles. When you have the rifle, it does change things up. But Imi now expecting that player to push through the connector smoke, but he will not. Stanley. No.
He gets away with this. He gets the double kill. He's looking for a triple kill. The flash is going to go out. He falls on through, and Imi is there to claim his life. But Pulse quick on the trade as Neil going to be sitting tight over towards the B site now, just waiting for the cross to come in from Jesper and Ezio. They throw out the utility, frag by frag, round by round. That is the mentality of FM eSports as they're going to get themselves right on the wire. One final round needed as Jesper's there sitting in those corridors thinking, what on earth can I possibly do? What can I achieve in this scenario? A 1v4 in 25 seconds.
And that'll do it. Match point, series point, UK Masters Season 2 point as well.
All of the points.
Cheers, John, for doing my job.
He's got a point though. He actually has a valid point, which I love. I do actually really like the comments at the top because every single one of them has either been on the banter side of things or on general, statistical sides. And we talked about Pulse having the highest combined ADR. That's pretty huge. To what FM on their CT side, every single player performing better. There's a lot of hugely impactful things. There's already Max taking a gunfight, but that was uncomfortable.
You need to spray more to the left when you do use the Galil, but it's going to be Robin and Jenko to find frags. Max and Imi in the 2 versus 4. It's just Imi now, 1 versus 4. Match point, series point. The players are standing up, they're clapping. I think that's the management, actually, not the players. Hope not. Anyway, it's going to be 16-11. FM win it 3-1, taking all 3 maps on the LAN finals.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Raise a hand, of course. These are your champions. It's FM eSports UK Masters Season 2, and what a way for them to go about things. They are going to be happy men as they walk away with the fair share, the lion's share of that of all of the prize pool.
7.5 grand it is.
That's a lot of money, and I'm not going to be complaining about that one, of course. It's been
Look at the grins there.
Triumphant series. Yeah. The grins, I think, almost expected at this point, but commiserations have to be given to the side of Endpoint.
If you're Endpoint right now, you can't be too hard done by. The goal of your team is the long term. It's not about the short-term success. Learn from what you've seen here. Learn from what you've played on. Sorry, play on from what you've done here. Keep showing progression leading into the next year. and the next season of UK Masters.
They're going to be really exciting to see where things can go with that one, of course. Huge congratulations to every single player involved in this season. The players and the viewers and all of you guys at home are what make this happen. So we can only say thank you to you guys.
Who's the MVP?
That's a tough one. I mean, I'm looking at that map particularly, and I'm kind of almost balancing between Robin and Pulse.
I was gonna. In my eyes, it's Pulse. The nuke play, the spray downs there, Cash as well, and leading into this final map as well. Top fragger for his team.